Hello, my name is Steele and I'm your Heart Health Club nutritionist. Today I would like to talk to you about one of the major food groups that we tend to forget when it comes to talking about diet and heart disease, and that's protein. When it comes to heart disease, we tend to talk about all of the foods that we should be avoiding, such as sugar or saturated fat or salt, but we rarely focus on the things that we should be eating more of, and that's what I would like to discuss with protein. Protein is a major building block for muscle, and the presence of muscle or lack of it is quickly becoming recognised as one of the predictors for the development of heart disease. Now, this was perfectly illustrated by a study in 2016, which looked at 1,937 people. And this study showed that those who were at the highest risk of death due to heart disease were those who had high amounts of body fat and low muscle mass, which is something that we're probably mostly aware of. But interestingly, what it also showed was that those who had low muscle mass, who weren't obese, were just as likely to die from heart disease as those who were. And it really highlighted the importance for muscle in preventing heart disease. One of the big problems we face as we age is that our muscle mass begins to decline. After the age of 30, it can decrease by approximately 3 to 8% per decade, and that increases again after the age of 60. When muscle mass decreases, it is accompanied by an increase in fat mass and an alteration in our metabolism, both of which can contribute to the development of heart disease. And this is why it's so important to maintain protein intakes throughout our lives, and possibly even increase them after the age of 60. As studies have shown that by increasing our protein intakes, we can develop greater strength and muscle mass, especially when we combine it with resistance exercise. And increased dietary protein limits age-related muscle mass loss. But it isn't just the amount of protein that we eat that is important, but the timing of it also. Now, we tend to eat the majority of our protein at dinner time and consume very small amounts at breakfast. However, one small study has shown us that compared to a low-protein breakfast, a breakfast that contains at least 30 grams of protein can contribute to 30% higher synthesis of the proteins that we use to build muscle. And that if we evenly distribute the protein that we eat throughout the day, muscle protein synthesis is 25% higher compared to if consuming it mainly at dinner time. Now, I often get asked about the difference between vegetarian and omnivorous diets and how they differ with regards to protein intake and muscle building. If you have a high protein vegetarian diet, then your muscle building ability is equal to that of a high protein omnivorous diet. However, there is one key difference, and that is the amount you need to eat to achieve that high protein vegetarian diet. One of the best plant-based protein sources is quinoa. In order to eat the equivalent amount of protein to one chicken breast, you would need to eat 4 cups of quinoa. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever tried to eat 4 cups of quinoa, but I can assure you it is pretty difficult in terms of the sheer volume of food that you need to eat. So, people who are following a vegetarian and vegan diet may like to consider protein shakes in order to achieve an increased protein intake. However, as with any dietary changes, you should always seek guidance from a nutritionist or healthcare professional. Increased protein intakes are not for everyone. People with kidney disease or problems with processing protein shouldn't undertake this diet. Please ensure that your individual circumstances and health is suitable for anything that you undertake. Now, get onto the Heart Research Australia website, join the free Heart Health Club to learn more about this as well as lots of other interesting information relating to heart health.